want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Welcome back to, what the heck's the name of the show, kid? FANGIN N BANGIN with Gangrel.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's only the 4th episode. Well, this is the 4th episode, so I made it to 4. I don't think I would have made it past 3 without you.
Aww.
So I'm super stoked to have you here, and I'm super stoked to have everybody listening. If you're listening on the Spotify's or whatnot or anytime, or if you're watching on YouTube. So welcome everybody, and thank you. And here we go at episode 4. So what's going on? I still don't know whether I should call you KC, Kid Cadet, or Kid. You know, what do you prefer?
I don't. Kid is fine.
Anything but yo.
Yeah. I like Yo-Yo's fine.
Yo, chica, what's up?
Yo, like, Yo MTV Raps.
Yo.
Okay, so.
Is that still around? Yo, MTV Raps?
I don't think that they play music on MTV anymore.
They had wrestling for a while, right? They had a wrestling show.
They did. It was X. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have the
Luke
DVDs.
Hawks and certain people like that were on there, right?
Eric
So,
Cannon and
Eric. Oh, that's where Eric. I love Eric Cannon.
Me too.
He's got all his Pat's Blue Ribbon stuff and everything. But,
big fan.
I heard he was just down at AEW recently.
He
too.
was.
Was he? Oh, good for him. Did it go well? Do you know?
I think so. I hope so.
Because you're my lifeline to what's going on current, because I am still guilty. Like this past weekend. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm grizzled, so my back locked up, and it would have been a perfect excuse to watch a lot of wrestling, but I did not.
You did? What, did you watch?
I couldn't
anything?
reach the remote, and a certain lovely lady in the house had the remote, so it turned out we watched a lot of SVU. I think they have SVU on every day and everything there. So so you're my lifeline to like current wrestling right now until I can catch up. I'm gonna be honest. There's no sense in trying to bluff it, hide it, or work around it. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest and straightforward. Okay. So Eric Cannon was there. Did he do well?
I think so. I haven't seen the match yet, but I had a couple friends that had matches this past AEW Dark, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bums Are Us made their debut against the Varsity Blondes, which was pretty neat.
Bums Are Us.
Bums
What's that?
Are Us.
Bums Are Us.
That's
I know,
their name.
I know another guy named Boots that wrestles in the Sebring area.
Boots.
And he's like he does a homeless character.
Yeah.
Boots. He would literally, Cahagas, you know Cahagas, right?
Of course.
Cahagas, that was his promotion. Cahagas would literally have him go out and work street corners, so he would have authenticity. Like, that's his dude. So when people would roll up, they see him wrestling, they go, "Hey, that's the dude that was out there."
I think it's a
panhandling. You know, Boots.
Ray Bees, right? Maybe is it the same guy? I don't know.
What's that?
Does he go by Ray Bees or it's Boots?
Maybe, but
Maybe.
I just know him as Boots. But I think maybe you're correct with that. But
yeah.
And high flyer, does a lot of crazy stuff. And,
and
all that. But sound all around. But a really nice guy. I tagged with him a couple times, and that was cool. So I'm getting all sidetracked. So,
okay, that's
so
okay.
Bums Are Us is not Boots.
I think it might be.
Oh, you think it might be?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I could do a real quick Google search and find out. I mean, but yeah, don't hold me.
What
to
else
it,
is going on there? What is your word? What's your scoop on there? I've heard there's been some. They've had typical things when playoffs come in sports, when you're working with big networks, like what are they on TNT or whatever?
Right.
So you have hockey. There,
of course. So now, they used to be Wednesdays. Now they're on Fridays. So
permanently or temporarily?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, every time I'm like, oh, it's Wednesday. And then I'm like, no, it's supposed to be Friday.
Friday, SmackDown. Hey, woo.
Right.
Are they stepping up? Now, I'm naive. I don't know. So I clearly don't know. So I'm talking out of my ass right now. So anybody that's listening, I am straight up talking out of my ass because I do not know. So...
Well, I mean, I guess like the good follow-up question to that would be, in the era of, WCW and WWF and things running concurrently, what was that like knowing like you're essentially going up against another, wrestling company on the same night?
Well, for us, like we paid a lot of attention to where we were at on the show. So if you had it was a 2-hour show, they had the top of the hour changes. And we were stoked, like, as we were trying to figure it out, because it turns out they would put the Brood on right about the time you're supposed to change channels. So that meant we had some momentum and some traction, and people are watching us because they gave us enough trust that if they threw us on, they're going to stick and not switch the channel when the time change came when the other show would start. So that was kind of cool. So it's very competitive that way. So back then, you paid attention to where your spot was, and then you would look into the ratings. And then we didn't have so much, there wasn't the internet type of stuff, so you had to rely on, as much as I don't always agree with Meltzer and stuff like that, but But he was one of the main lifelines of like trying to keep track of both companies and ratings and stats, you know, because I mean, I'm sure you could research things, but I don't even know the first laptop I ever owned, and I probably broke it within like the year it didn't last, you know. Then, you know, I had a sidekick and then a BlackBerry.
You had a sidekick? Yeah, I did too. I still have my sidekick somewhere.
And so then I graduated to BlackBerry and then went on, and now basically, I still don't have a laptop, and I need to get one because a lot of the stuff we're doing here and stuff, I'm sure at some point I'm going to have to do from off the road because I'm very super blessed to have a super busy schedule coming up. That pandemics, I survived the pandemic. I mean, I still managed to wrestle like almost every week somehow through it. There was a month there that was rough, but so now with all these other projects and great things going on, that I'm blessed. I'm sure that I'm gonna have to use more than just my phone. Although my phone, I got the iPhone 12. I'm learning it, but it's like a computer. It's getting it done.
And I have to say, I was the proud recipient of your first vampire emoji.
Yes, you were.
I was so excited.
Now I'm gonna try to send it to you. Right after I sent it to my girl Susan too, she goes, vampire. I say now she'll know where I figured out how to do the vampire. Although I still think it looks like Count Chocolate, but we're not gonna get to the cereal.
That's okay. Yeah, right. We hit cereal last
because
time.
I totally neglected Frosted Flakes, and it gets a lot of love.
I love Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes. Did I say Frosted Flakes last time? I don't know. I think I missed
so.
They're great. You know, Tony the Tiger. Tony the Tiger.
Not bad.
But so AEW, so it switched over because of hockey, I'm assuming.
Right.
Is that so you don't know if it's a permanent thing or just a hockey thing on the station switch?
No.
Okay.
I think it's
well, producer guy should know. He should be Googling all that and hollering over there, covering our asses. What's going on?
It's temporary.
It's temporary.
Okay.
Oh, of course
And
it'd be
then
temporary, yeah.
They're moving to another channel.
TBS, right?
Oh, they're going to TBS now?
Yeah.
Or they're on TNT?
Now they're on TNT and then they're going to TBS, right? Or am I...
Oh, wow, the Superstation. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, really going full circle with stuff and everything.
It's happening.
So what else is new? Any other good word from there? What's up, Mama?
Well, not from there, but I wanted to circle back to last week. You had asked me who my trainer's favorite wrestlers were, and I have an answer. I asked him.
Oh, okay. What was your trainer's name again?
Sheldon.
Sheldon, okay.
Okay,
Who's Sheldon,
so-
your trainer's favorite wrestlers?
Okay. So, growing up, his favorite wrestlers were Ultimate Warrior and Bret the Hitman Hart. Those are his two.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay,
And
I'm listening,
currently, in the AEW product, he likes Kenny Omega and, of course, now I'm going to forget his name. Married to Renee Young. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm not remembering his name.
Oh,
Dean Ambrose.
Dean. So
But not Dean Ambrose. Moxley.
Moxie.
Yeah.
So give him to me again.
Okay, like...
Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
Okay. Of course, I'm going to go Bret Hart. Even as a kid, I'm just giving you my choices out of two, which one I'm going to flow with.
That's fine.
Favoring that I did train in the dungeon with the Harts. That's not why I'm going to go there. Two, I think Bret Hart is a talented wrestler. I think Owen overall was a tremendous wrestler out of the Harts. Even and there's Bruce Hart, and then so many people that have come out of that dungeon, Benoit and everybody, Pillman and stuff. Pillman Jr.'s come out of the, a lot of things. So, but I'm going to lean towards Bret Hart, plus the Ultimate Warrior. Rest in peace. I'm not talking nothing bad about him because he's not here to defend himself, but he didn't like me. And
oh no.
Yeah, we were in Spain at one point, and Sam Owens had me over there, and I thought I was going to have to. I'm not a tough guy, but I thought I was going to have to tune the Warrior up there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Like
it was crazy because the demands he had, it was like insane. He had to have a kitchen, and then he had to have an apartment, not a hotel. And then, because he was training to work Orlando Jordan in this match, so he had to have an apartment. And then he had to have special pots and pans, special knife, food, and then I think where it kind of got over the top is he asked for a chef, and I was like, what the hell?
He asked for
a
chef?
They're all looking at me because they're all being like, oh, the Samoans, they're more like, I mean, I'm no pun intended, they're savages, they'll just rip your eye out and fish hook your face if they wanted to, or they'll call 5,000 other family members that could be there in 10 seconds. But they were kind of looking at me and then like wait, and we're in this meeting and he just keeps Warriors looking at me like, why is this guy in this meeting? But like what they didn't know though, I was in tight. I did the production, the load in. I booked most of the cards. Maybe not on that particular one, but maybe I'm mixing Spain up with Australia. But whatever. But I was heavily involved. So I was there, and then I like blew off his ideas. I thought he was gonna shake the table.
But like,
you gotta get him. Oh no, where's my slam buddy for comfort? I feel bad. Where's my slam buddy? Raymond, you hit my slam buddy. I could have did my Warrior with Slam. Oh, you have put me in the closet. Oh, but you wrap me up every day, so like, yeah, so you can do. You guys, I know if you're just listening to me, you can't see it, but I got my Slam buddy, and he's holding the ropes. He's gonna do his best Warrior. Ah, by the stars and the planet of the universe and the galaxies far beyond. Ah, that was. I don't even know if that was my best ultimate.
Can I see that?
You're my Slam buddy. All
this
right.
is so.
For all those you can't see, I'm handing over my Slam buddy.
This is crazy. Oh my god, I love this so much. This is so fun.
Yeah, right now, I can share them out. We'll probably do something through the shows. I know the producer, Raymond, he's talked to me about giving a giveaway when we hit a certain amount of followers and stuff like that. But Bits and Buttons has them right now, right there in Briar Boulevard. So I just go down there. So what they do is they have them, they sell them for me, and then I pick up whatever I need to do. So I just pick them up so I can, I can move them too. But I personally, I've sold some when we had shows, but most of them around my house. Anna has one in her room. Susan has one in her room, but I kind of jacked it because I got a grizzled neck, so it kind of just fits in my neck perfect. Yeah.
Oh my god!
And I wouldn't be surprised if I don't start traveling with this guy on plane, especially when I'm flying to Seattle this weekend. I'm gonna put him in, or wherever the hell.
You get him his own
Spokane.
seat?
I'm going to Spokane this weekend. So.
He's so cute.
You can hold him for a while.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I love it. He's like, has your shirt. Like, this is legit.
Yeah, he tried to say, like, I'm not current, but he tried to tell me I look like some dude off The Walking Dead with a mullet.
Who?
You ask this guy. He's
Army guy from The Walking Dead.
Ooh, Army guy? I'm not a...
you're not a Walking Dead. Thank you. And I know we're going to offend a lot of people, but I'm a vampire guy, not a zombie guy. I think a vampire versus zombie, who wins?
Oh, a vampire versus zombie. Well, okay.
Vampires
are smarter. I mean, zombies are just kind of they're the Walking Dead, essentially, right?
They're just like.
Well, I'm gonna pick vampires. Vampires
I'm biased. Can romance you, glam you, hang out, party, go to the gym.
Like, go to the gym.
Yeah,
I love it.
Vampires, yeah.
I mean, as a Romanian,
zombies just trudge along. What do you want to hang out with a zombie? Let alone, I know a vampire that's like run him and rip that head off.
Listen, I love vampires. Like, I'm all about that. Like I said, I'm Romanian, so like I feel like it's part of my history. You know, it's like I was trying
to go. The Bulgaria is right there, so I want to go to Bulgaria on a trip where and go.
Michael Clovis, that's my buddy. Yeah, I love him.
He caught a mullet. He just looks like a hard dude. I'll take that look, kind of. Just a little weathered and grizzled. And
he had one of the craziest
little life experiences. He had a crazy death. What happened?
Yes. So, like, spoiler alert if you guys...
has it not been on?
No, it's been on a couple seasons ago. Okay. So, it was when Negan, like, made his big debut. And Negan was, like, doing, like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo around a circle. And he took his bat and smashed his head in. And, it was pretty gnarly.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Oh, so they're all that. Oh, that's
cool. It was pretty crazy.
Maybe I should give Walking Dead a chance. I know when I'm wrestling in South Carolina for old school championship wrestlers, a guy Joe, and he always be like, the shows were on Sunday, but he'd have to rush home. I believe he had his shows early just so he could rush home to see. And it married to his wife. She would cook this great spread of food and everything. It's a lovely place, lovely company. And then if you're out there, you should check the shows out, which I guess I might as well plug. I'll be out there in December 4th and in October or something. I think October 10th. But you would always have to rush home to see the Walking Dead was coming out. And I couldn't get into it. It was the vampire in me. I don't know.
It was the vampire.
I think the vampire in me can't competing with these damn zombies that got over like so fast, like kind of like the Brood, like whoosh, wasn't supposed to get over. Next thing you know, it's zombie mania everywhere. It is. Well, I think we do. I think we'd have a show. I think somebody's done a lame show like that. Haven't they done zombies versus vampire wrestling? Somebody did.
I know that they had, because Batista just did the new Army of the Dead movie, and so at one of the recent WWE pay-per-views, they had a lumberjack match, and everyone was zombies to like promote them. Did you see that?
I read this cool movie script I'm gonna do when the borders open for Canada. I'm gonna go over, and the guy's doing a whole thing. But I don't want to give spoilers on what he's doing. He's getting mad. But at some point, I'm cover to cover vampires and all here. So the cool thing was, it turns out in the part of the scene, it was an all vampire wrestling federation. I forget what it's called. So I thought to myself, but I want to reach out to this guy because I don't want to bite his idea, and I probably shouldn't be throwing it out here. But I thought about I'm not. He's doing a movie. But what I thought about doing was a wrestling show. with all vampire characters. And then puns and tens and playoffs of vampires past, present, and possibly future, and also graphic novels, stuff like that. All these different characters.
Cool.
So that's my life story there. That's kind of follows my life. You were talented. You didn't drop me or me. Yeah, so like this is a vampire here, but this is kind of like this is kind of my life up to WWE, and then it stops, and then we're gonna do a second edition coming out soon. Or not soon, we gotta go write it, but yeah. But I want to do I was thinking about just a wrestling show, so now I'm down in Magic City, right? So and they got black walls, which very vampire, and I'm thinking just add some lighting in there, and then I have all the students. I got just 60 that came with me that are trained alone, and plus theirs. And a lot of them look like vampires. They're all cool, I'm going to make Xander. I'm going to put his eyes crazy. Xander, it's Cat Xander's one of his friends. Xander, he's got these braids, but I can see him being a cool vampire. And there's this other dude with his long dreads, and he'd be like the Snoop Dogg hip-hop vampire. Because he's a rapper. He's an actual rapper. So I take his rapping, his wrestling, and throw another W in there. Rapping, wrestling, whatever. What you get what I mean. Yep. Vampire, WWE, rapping, wrestling, vampire. Or he could be a vampire. That way the W's go. He could be wrestling. But no, I thought about it, and but I don't know how. And how do we get all drifted so far?
I don't know, but did I ever tell you I had a bunny named Gangrel?
Like a real rabbit?
Yeah,
a rabbit?
I had a rabbit, and he looked like he had red eyes, and he was white. Yeah. And I was like, his name is Gangrel. This is before we ever even met. Yeah. And because
I had bunnies once.
Did you?
Yeah, but it was a bad ending.
Okay, we don't have to talk about that.
Well, I loved that dog. I had got this stray pit bull, and then he was really mean. His name was Brownie. Eventually, we had to give him away, and then eventually the police ended up putting him down. But we left one day, and my mom liked rabbits. We were bunny rabbits, and we do Easter things with them, and as little kids. And then we came home one day, and it kind of a scene from Bloodbath and Blade. When they did the Blade, just blood and guts everywhere, white fur hanging out of his mouth. It was like, oh,
that's
no more
dramatic.
Bunny. So your bunny, did it have a happier? Your bunny Gangrel was he doing the biting and destroying? Did he have fangs?
Gangrel the rabbit, shall I say?
Gangrel the rabbit, the wascally wabbit, Gangrel.
He's with one of my exes. I haven't seen.
You lost him in custody.
I sure did.
You lost Gangrel. You lost him in custody. Oh no! Do you get visitation rights?
No, it's all right. I'm sure.
Raymond, where's my chalice? You got me drinking out of this. I had a chalice here. Somebody's hidden my chalice.
Guys, the illusion.
Episode 4 or 5. Whatever. We'll have a chalice. 6, 7,
5?
8. When the budget goes up down the road, we'll have chalices for all.
Chalices and slam. What are these called again?
Slam buddies.
Slam buddies.
Well, you can just call. What are you gonna name that one? Since you're hanging out with me.
I don't.
We'll get you one though for sure.
Yes. Oh my God.
I just got to go down. I meant to pick them up. My back was out. I went down. I don't know if you see the new props we got here. So I had to pick some of my stuff up because Jimmy Janetti was holding them for me. I met him at Bits and Buttons. So you got the Brood stuff over there, and then you got the plaques behind me from all the aggression thing. And then I know one. Oh gosh, my back is still. Okay. And then I had a platinum one for that, but that disappeared somewhere. I don't like. Why would somebody steal my platinum plaque? I don't know, but it was mine.
I love the cassette tapes. Big fan. That's amazing.
But this is aggression. See, Murder did that music. I don't know if you ever listened to it. The Brew with No Pity. I should have had you cue that music up. I didn't know I was going to talk about that, but you ever listened to it? Have you ever heard that version?
Maybe.
No, it's not the Danny-O version that you hear. Jump! What was you thinking? Stepping into the realm with the deadly, sinister vampire war. I'm gonna bust that buster, crush that hustle. Not that version. That's very bubblegum, very catchy, and I still use that today when I'm going to the ring a lot. I'll still use that, and I use the original version too. It just depends upon where I'm at and what the vibe is. But C Murder one, that one's hard. That one hits hard.
Does it?
Yeah. So I've still got my signs out. Free C Murder. I think he was innocent. He caught the plea for somebody who went to jail. But
oh, fun.
Yeah. Rappers, music, jail. It all ends bad. But See, Murder's dope. I still play him in schools when I'm training and stuff. And then my students, the current ones, the younger ones, and they don't really know this. I'm thinking, oh, that's really lit, coach. You see, I learned lit from Ray. Lit, that's really lit. That's really lit, coach. I go, I see Murder, man. He's up in jail right now. He's doing time. I think he wouldn't rat nobody out. You know, and they're like, why are you so hood, coach? I'm like, nah, man. I just think I am.
Lit. Well, okay.
So speaking of lit, what's up?
Well, I was gonna say, I know that you have TikTok videos, but are you gonna do any like the TikTok dances? Are you gonna do
No,
like
I can't figure it out. Here's the thing: is like, so Gangrel's ghost stories. Their social media person told me, she's like 19. Her name's Maya. She's like, you got to the TikTok. So somehow they've gotten like right at 5,000 followers, but I've only got 14. I can't. My videos. I had one video that did really, really well. It got in 13 hours, had over 55,000 views. It was climbing, but they put graphic thing on it, and then it just stopped. Oh. So I don't know if anybody's watching, but I don't think so.
Was it the Rikishi one? Wait.
No. Was it the sting face? No,
I love that video.
A guy, oh no, he's gonna kill me because I can't remember his name. And everybody knows him. He's like, he fell off. He's the one that severed his hand on one of the Game Changer shows off the ladder. King of the death matches. He just went over to the death match thing. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. But one of his things is he gets you take like a kind of a knee version of a 619, but a knee, and you'll spin to the 619 position like we're able to give you that. But instead of him coming, he goes into a thing and he pulls out tattoo needles. So he grabs them in a bunch. So he takes the tattoo needle and he just like bah, 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 and then he lets you go, and all these tattoo needles are hanging out of your head, you know. So I put up the one song, I'm bulletproof to it, so all you see me is you get and I pull them out, bulletproof, you know, and then I throw it down, and the video cuts, but I guess they found that too graphic. And then I catch a lot of slack. I mean, there's a lot of positives in it, but then there's like two messages. There's always like two messages. One guy's like, oh, it's come to that. But they didn't see the whole match. He's the deathmatch guy, but we wrestled the whole match. That was just the one thing leading into the finish, the crucial thing leading into the finish. Because I believe when I'm working with people, and then wherever you go, I'm not saying, a lot of people like to call it garbage wrestling or backyard stuff, but I don't look at it like that. I think it's creative art. It's what people want to do. I mean, I've been guilty of from like 94 to 95. I did nothing but death matches, Taipei death glass matches against Bull Payne, Tracy Smothers, rest in peace. And a lot of guys that came through there, I did it every weekend for a fellow called Ian Rotten down in Louisville. I think it was called IWA Mid-South or whatever it was called, IW. But I did them, and I know there's safe ways to do them because I'm not pretty, but there's no scars all over my head. Heck, when I went to Puerto Rico, I bled every night down there. My first 6 months, I was bleeding. But there was a way. Like I was at the tail end in the old territories going into a new way where the other ones, all those scars were a badge of honor. You're a wrestler, and they just would like butcher themselves. And then I was blessed by Rusty Brooks, who taught me a proper way how to do that, and I'd walk away every night with no scars. So see, I'm using a lot of hand movements. You know why? I got Father's Day gifts. Yeah, you see that?
Let's talk about them.
So it says Anna, David, and Susan. Well, I think it says David, Susan, and Anna first, but yeah, I got this cool Father's Day
That's so
thing.
sweet.
And then I don't know, I probably got gimmicked on that, but I got to throw it out there anyways.
Gotta show the watch.
Got taken on the watch. But I'm a watch guy. But you know what? I'm gonna go back to my $50 watches because I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, because a $50 watch looks just as good on me as a $500 watch. To me, it's my taste. So it's what you like. And I go through them. I freaking hit everything on everything all the time. So I'm
really?
Where did you send me on this journey? How did I get here? Well, what rabbit hole did you take me down?
We started with Undertaker and then Vampire Wrestling, and I don't know where we are now.
Did we even get to Undertaker? No.
Oh, not Undertaker. Ultimate Warrior is where we started.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Well, I had a question, and I hope I'm allowed to ask this. So obviously you were saying that Rusty taught you how to properly, like you said, you were bleeding in Puerto Rico, was it? Is that something that you teach your students, or I don't know how to ask that?
Yeah, it to me, it's an art form. It's taboo. It's taboo. I mean, the whole world's educated to it too. Maybe I'm a bit old school and don't like to go into great details and calling it like what it is, as in blading or stuff like that. But I do when the moments come. I don't think it's a they should understand it if they ever get in that situation, because you should understand what you're doing and how you're doing it, and to come out on the better end of it. But I don't think it's a heavily practiced art now. Maybe AEW seems to be drifting back like that. But usually when something like that would happen, Puerto Rico was an every night thing. That was just their thing. Like ECW was an every night thing. You know, when I did that hardcore stuff, it was an every night thing. But you know, in a company that it's a company that I prefer to work for or something, like it's usually either to start this huge angle or it's a blow off of big angles and stuff. So, and you don't see that much anymore. Like WWE, it's been PG. So like I think spraying on my blood would have been questionable at some point during this PG era. Now maybe I see them drifting a little bit back to other stuff. I'm not current, but what I've seen, it seems like they've gotten a little more boom, but they seem more interested in just seeing how many announcer tables or Spanish announcing tables they could go through creatively, and it doesn't look the same. Like I see clips from the Hells in the South, and I'm like, and Mercedes Martinez, what do you think of her? Like she's coming.
I like Mercedes, but you know, she's someone that I got.
I was just thinking of the Hell in a Cell. I think there was a spot in the corner of the chair. Was that her? No, that wasn't.
No,
that was Rhea. Who was it? Who ate a chair in the corner with a? I was like vicious.
Not sure.
I think it might have been Sasha from. Oh, you didn't watch it, Raymond?
And I didn't get to watch it either.
Shame on all of us.
I did watch the main. I watched Bobby and Drew McIntyre. I did watch that.
How do you think of Drew?
I like Drew. I like Drew. I feel like it's kind of tough because, you know, he was given this championship right at the start of the pandemic, and so he never really got to be the champion in front of a live crowd. And so I think kind
of a journey back, because like I've known him since my England days when he first started. Like before they all got swooped up on developmental, Sheamus, Drew, there was another guy named Sonic, and then Carl Sanders they call Wade Barrett now. Or
Wade Barrett, yeah.
So I was working these guys every night. So in England, you know, sometimes you'd work twice a day, but you work 6-7 days a week, and you'd have a month run, and you maybe have a day off. Sometimes it'd be 3 weeks, you have a day off, but you consistently work for like 3 months, basically over there year round if you're doing the camps. But I came in seasonal for the seasons. I did a lot of the town shows, not so much the camps, and I would draw them. So like I know Drew on his way up, watching him start and come, and then one day I'll ask him about Alan's boat. He'll get mad. We won't even talk about that. But watching him go, and then he was there, and then he got let go or something. Something happened. I'm not sure what happened, but he was gone. But then I would run into him on the on the indie scene, right? And he was so passionate. Like, I mean, like I used to be like that, and I go, well, you gotta like. You guys are young, this and that, but he'd be like, damn it, whoa, and he'd get so mad about things, and I go, it's really cool, because, like, where's he gonna go? I'm wondering, like, is he gonna stay here? He's there, but he's still flipping cared, right? He still cared, and then so to see him get back there, and started NXT, and then humbly, and then come up, and then the pandemic, and then he gets the belt, but I think he's done it well. He's a man's man.
Absolutely.
You know? And he's a beast. You don't realize how big he is. You don't realize how big he is. And he's a gentleman. He always has been to me. He's always, since the day when he started, and I ran into him WrestleMania or two back, and he's just as nice. But like, again, I've mentioned this before, like all the English fellas that I'm friends with, they stay your friends. In the States, it's really weird. There's people that are just working that food chain. They're trying to climb that ladder. You may not never hear from all the English guys. And mad love to everybody in England. All of you, Spitty, you know, James, Robbie, all the lads, or Frankie Stone. They're all still friends of mine today. They'll still WhatsApp and whatnot. And some of them are watching this, even though they don't want to listen to it, they'll watch it, they'll listen to it. They go, all right, good one, yeah. They're probably going, oh, that was the shits there, but we're not gonna tell them that. We like them too much.
When you go to England, like, is there certain foods that you look forward to eating? Like, are you a foodie at all?
Boy, look at this body. I'm definitely not a diety. I'm a foodie. Diety a word?
Diety? Sure, it is now.
Now it is now.
It a word?
Yeah, he should be diety too. He looks on one side like a block. But yes, I do actually. Indian food.
I love Indian.
Their Indian food is genuine. You know, the country has influenced a lot of Eastern Indian, and it is amazing over there. So, I love it, and a good curry and curry chicken, and so I definitely look forward to Indian.
What about like fish and chips or like?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I don't eat fish because I grew up like, it's a long story, and I'm not going to bore you with us not having a lot of money. My dad making us all go fish, catch the limit of fish, have to clean the fish, and then Monday through Thursday, eat fish for dinner. Mandatory. No other option.
Wow.
You want to eat fish. So I guess I could say this. I've had a hard on towards fish for a long time. I don't want to eat it. If I don't have to eat it, I don't want to eat it. That's just my choice. And so I get over there, but there's a chippy in England, Brian Dixon. He'd always go, yeah, he's one of these guys they imitate the most. He's like, yeah, it's the best fish and chips. You know, I can't do the imitation, but he's like one of the most imitated English promoters there is, or English person. And, you know, because he runs All-Star Wrestling. He's running for like 50 years. This is his 50th year now of running it and stuff like that. And, you know, it's on the downside, and the pandemic hit some ups and downs, but it was strong for like 48 years, like super strong. One of the biggest companies, right? And he's like, yeah, don't be an idiot. Don't be a muppet. You got to eat this in Leeds. This is fish and chips. I can't remember the name, but it's in Leeds. And I remember he would leave a show early to try to get there and call an order in to get these fish and chips. And then we would go there, and then there would be a pizza place right next door. And I wouldn't go. I'd go to the pizza place. He goes, you daft muppet. You know, going on, how could you do this? So one day I just said, fine, Brian. I don't eat the fish and chips. So if you don't know what fish and chips is, their fish is fish, and it's a super like it's all in the breading and stuff like that, right? And chips, they are French fries there. You know, crisp or potato chips, chips or French fries. So fish and chips. So you're talking fish, fried fish, and French fries. So I get in there and I'm like, I'm gonna eat it. So I took a bite and I was like, oh, that's really good. But I didn't sell it because they're all watching. I see, you know, I ate the whole big 3 strips, and then I hadn't even eaten the fries yet, and I'm like, oh man, it is amazing.
Right?
I didn't taste fish, I just tasted the batter, and it was just kicking it, and they flavored each other, you know. I keep waiting for this place to pop up on one of those foodie shows, you know, like the whatever, you know, there's so many food shows in there where, you know, maybe we should think about getting a food show, because I'll be 500 pounds. I'll have to be like that Bobby guy, spike my hair, face me around, looking like Cartman. You know, like, what was the guy?
Who? Which
the
one?
Who drives a really cool car.
Guy Fieri?
Huh?
Guy Fieri?
Is it the one? He's got a short spiked hair.
Yeah,
really
Diners, Drive-Ins, and
Yeah.
I love Guy Fieri.
Well, I do, but I'll be bigger than him. I'll look so...
We just have to work out a lot. Like, you just have to equal it out.
I don't know if I can equal out that much. He can't possibly eat.
Who? Oh, well,
all those meals. He
takes a couple bites. You know, he's not like a competitive eater.
Could you just take a couple bites to stop if it was really good?
Would I? No.
Right.
No, I want it.
It's like people used to make that joke. I don't like cocaine. I just like how it smells.
Right. I just like
I don't like food. I just like how it tastes.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
well, they Guy Fieri like opened up a place in the Aventura Mall. Like,
oh, really?
It's called Chicken Guy, and I went down there because I thought I was going to get to meet him, and he wasn't there for the grand opening. But I'm hoping one day to cross paths with Guy Fieri. I'm a fan.
They pulled a fast one on you.
It's all right. I took a picture with the standee that they had, so it's close enough,
right?
Where
he was?
Yeah. He was somewhere else, not there. But
he's at the other 15th grand opening in Iowa.
Good for him, though. I mean, he's doing his thing.
Cool show. Coolest thing about that show is this car.
Love the car. Love the car.
I like to drive that to a venue, rocking down here. Like, hey, look at Gangrel, he's rich.
would that be like your dream car, or
what is that? What is he driving? Is it a Camaro, convertible Camaro? Which one's he driving? I'm just trying to go off memory. I just glanced because it's a really dope car. Like I can, because I know he opens up. He's usually in a convertible, and it's a muscle car. Yeah. But Raymond, if he was fast over there, he would already look that up for us and saved our asses. He's like, come on, guys, you're not even hitting a bullet point. I asked you, could you might talk about
what were the other?
Well, whatever.
Sorry, we're on Guy Fieri.
Like that. But here we are talking about food, Guy Fieri, and the Aventura Mall. So now I'm gonna have to go check it out. But
yeah, it's good. Yeah. But if you could like roll up to an event in like any car, what would it be?
I'm gonna go traditional because I would like to have a swooped up 72 Monte Carlo because it was my first car.
Oh, okay.
It was my first car. I put it together out of the junkyard, and then that same car became my only stock car I ever had. I turned it, stripped it out and built my first race car, stock car out of it. So I'll be partial to 72 Monte Carlo. No, is there other cars like the Barracudas or the 69, Rally Sports Camaros and stuff? Yeah, there's a lot of other ones I like. But sentimental wise, or like the Swoop of 72 Monte Carlo, because you can't find them anymore because they were chopped up to be race cars for so long, especially through South Florida. They were just all chopped up between West Palm Beach and Hialeah Speedway. So it's really, really, really hard to find, and then they're really, really expensive. Though.
Damn.
But, yeah. It's you.
My dream car?
Yeah, your dream car.
Oh, DeLorean.
DeLorean, Back to the Future, kind of.
Yeah.
Did you watch that special on John DeLorean? Did you watch it?
I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, I watched it.
But I don't know. Besides liking
they
Back
were like
to the
lemons,
Future,
right? They were like lemons.
Yeah.
They had a lot of issues and a lot of problems. Right?
Yeah.
But now it's just cool because Back to the Future. Obviously, I think that's why you liked it.
Maybe. And like one of my old neighbors like pimped out a DeLorean, like he got like a flux capacitor in it, and I was like, I would want that.
Where do you live?
Like, it was in Hollywood.
All right. Leave it to Hollywood. Man.
Yeah.
I love Hollywood. All right. So what? What were we? I guess we got to get back to some kind of wrestling.
Okay. Yeah.
It all started. So Bret Hart.
And
Ultimate Warrior. This is where it started at, right?
Right.
And then his other ones were.
So
all right, we're gonna go current wrestling.
It was Moxley and Kenny Omega are his two in AEW.
Okay. He comes from that background of all that crazy deathmatch kind of stuff. But Kenny Omega comes from like just that Brian Cage mentality, get your shit in. Kenny Omega is tremendous talented. I'm gonna go with Kenny Omega if I got to wait two. If you're asking me to pick two, I'm gonna go with Kenny Omega. He's so versatile and stuff. Like if he would just harness that, like when he worked, like they said Kenny Omega and Okada, whoever had these great matches, whoever it was, boom, boom, boom. But then I seen him with Jericho, and because Jericho has been around the block, a little seasoned, probably can't take some of the stuff, but he can, but he can't take 30 of them in a row or something. But in his mind, it would never make sense. So when he worked Chris Jericho, that match didn't get as much praise as I thought the other one they gave the other ones. But I really thought that was tremendous. So if I could see him with like Chris Jericho or like an X-Pac or this and that, and they dial him in, and he has enough faith in himself that he could tell the stories in between that to hit those moments. And he's tremendous, but not by far. I'm gonna go Kenny Omega on that, but because I think I trained with Boris and Rusty. Where Rusty hated this stuff I was trying to do because I watched all the Stampede tapes and I was like fast. So then going to the dungeon and then all that. I have a fever for the flavor of that style. As much as people think when I go AEW, I'm never knocking it or the people there. I just think things should be dialed in and have transitions in between stuff. You can get so much more mileage out of it, and I'm a big believer of less is more. But I'm not by no means saying take away the dives or this and that. Because I love that shit. I'm like, oh. But when you see like 5 of them in a match, they start getting and then you go, well, how can they top that? Or you find yourself, you stop watching sometimes, and then it happens. You go, what did I like? Oh man, did I miss? What was the finish? Then I got to go ask. Oh, you got to go try to rewind it back.
How do you feel about wrestlers like Darby Allin? He's tagging with Sting now, I believe.
Well, I look at Darby Allin. I look at the hands on this watch, and then I go, time before that big injury. He's putting it all out there with these trust drops, and it's not an easy thing to do. I missed somebody on a trust drop one time.
Did you?
Yes, I did, and I still to this day feel bad about it. I wouldn't be saying it. It was the Dark Sheik and Hood Slam, and I don't think he believes me. He knows that I love him, and everything. So I think he knows that I didn't know on purpose, but in my head I feel like because I went to go and I slipped in some water and I couldn't get around people, and I got an arm under him. But when a dude just crosses their arms, it falls backwards off the pole, and you're in a crowd full of people and it's a concrete floor. An arm. I don't care if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. You better be Jeep Swenson or something But then you end up breaking his back. But he hit hard, and man, I felt so bad about it. But what? He got up and he carried on. He's stunned for a while, so I was trying to make up for it by taking a bump off the Hood Slams in a bar, right, out in Berkeley, Oakland area, and I tried to make up taking this big bump off a bar. So I'm trying to make up for missing them, but I felt horrible. So I don't know how AEW goes. I hear there's a lot of stop starts when they film things, this and that now. But I worry when you're live all the time and on the road, if you're still trying to do that stuff. I hope that he learns when and when not. you know, like pick those spots and use them well because, you know, I realized myself from my own personal experience, excuse me, how quick an accident, not being talented or whatever, or not knowing it, but an accident can happen because I dropped somebody I cared about. I didn't get there. So let alone you get people that might not care about you or just care about themselves, that could be like very dangerous. So I started worrying, you know, he's a daredevil. I think he has a lot on his mind from the little bits I traveled with him. Heck, when I rode with him prior to AEW, he was living in his car just to save money. He would tell me how he'd go into 24-hour fitness and cook his food at like 4 a.m. So he'd do his food prep and everything in the bathrooms when nobody was there and stuff like that. One of the 24-hour gyms, I think it was 24-hour fitness. And so like, he's different. He's been through it, but I think that's what makes him interesting. And then I haven't seen all the Sting stuff, but I did clip through and I saw him Sting standing face to face with like kind of makeup. So what's going on with that? Can you tell me what's going on with that?
I mean, I've only caught a little bit of it, but I know that they've been like tagging together, right? Him and Sting, yeah. Which is, I mean, I think it's pretty cool for Darby, you know, to like.
And speaking of Sting, he's older, so he's obviously AEW's youth driven, future driven. Youth, future driven, right? And you got Sting that's like at his run here, there. And, you know, we'll be honest, he's had a great career, but it's towards the end of it, you know. You got to wonder, like, injury-wise and stuff like that, how he's going and all that stuff's going on. What's going on through his mind, you know?
Well, I mean, if I remember...
Is he passing the torch to, like, Darby Allin?
Maybe. I mean, I guess like he wasn't cleared to wrestle for WWE. I think that was the situation after he got inducted, and so I think he still wanted to wrestle and went to AEW so he could, you know, like where he doesn't want someone to tell him that his time is over. Like he wants to determine that for himself. I respect that, you know.
Yeah, I keep a handful of people and I say, please tell me when I need to stop wrestling. So I'll probably get loaded with a lot of YouTube things. They'll say, Gangrel, quit wrestling. Like,
no, you still got it.
Well, I still love it, but that doesn't mean do I still have it. Like, but when I'm doing training and stuff at school, I tell them, hey, I'm not faster than any of y'all. Not possibly with the injuries I have, my age, weight, your height, your speed, your youth, your lack of injuries, where you could be in this and this and that. But at the end of the match, they're laying on the floor, like gassed out and blown up. And I'm sitting there going, you all right? It's not that I'm fast. It's just, I don't think youth can replace experience sometimes. So I hope Darby is picking up all the wisdom that Sting can pass him so he can have a longer longevity career and maybe less trust drops and stuff and the right things, but in his free time he is the kind of guy, and I've seen a clip where he would just roll himself down a thing in a trash can or sleeping bag or a body bag or something, you know, but I get that vibe that he would do that, and then he likes to push things on the edge, but all those guys. But then, you know, you say, oh, how long will they last? But then you got like Tony Hawk, right, innovator, look how long he's gone, right, like an amazing talent in that world, and crossed everything over to the extreme games, to the Olympic game, whatever, right? So
crazy, yeah.
So who am I to judge? But I'm just hoping Sting is kind enough and Darby Allin is open enough through these things, do that. And you know, Brian Cage told me, I think, didn't Brian Cage do a match with Sting, right?
I think so.
Because he told me, he said, hey, Sting was in it, man. He was there. He's like, hey, you gotta get this right. We'll do it again and do it again. I guess they did like a cinematography type of things, you know, which everybody knows I'm not the giantest fan of, but that's where things are going, and it's whatever. And I told, when I was on here, it was because I don't like to do things 10 times in a row. I like to do my 20 minutes, go in there, blood, sweat, and tears, leave it out on the stage or in the ring, in the arena, where like 11 hours later and the sun's coming up, one more day. Like, one more day.
I hear there's been some long days at AEW.
Yeah, which I guess, you know, like some of that's okay. I like if you have one match on a pay-per-view that's like that, and then you have 6-7 kick-ass, like, you know, matches, that's cool. But I'm not saying that's not a kick, because there's a lot more work goes in that. To me, I don't think it's easier. I think it's harder.
Oh, for sure.
So I think it's harder. So, but Brian Cage said this thing was still killing it. He said he was there and in it, and he didn't mind taking the shovels, broke on whatever was going on.
Fun.
So that's cool. That's cool, especially when you get a little bit older and stuff. And I'm not on that level there. I'm not working, I say, in that company or that level, but I'm out there every weekend and I experience the young guys and going through that, just like I'm talking about with G-Raver, here we go. When G-Raver wanted to put the needles in my head, he came to me and he goes, hey man, I'm like, what's going on, dude? You all right? Yeah. I go, what is it? Spit it out. Do you mind if a lot of guys think you're pretty cool and that you would do it? I go, you don't have to butter me up. What is it you want, man? I was like, I do these needle things. I go, what kind of needles? Like, and he's like, tattoo needles. I go, what, you gonna give me hepatitis or something? Like, he's like, no, they're brand new. And he starts showing me the packs and the hand shaking. And unfortunately, he's only got one hand's bad from that fall. He took it that Game Changer or Black. I don't know what show it was. 2 WrestleMania ago, Chicago, when he fell from the ceiling, he's the one that like ripped all those things out. And I had to go in the ring. I wrestled Orange Cassidy right after that, and the amount of blood and stuff that was in there was like, that was like, oh. But he's still back. He's back, man. G Raver, and he was super polite, and he won the deathmatch tournament the next day, but he has to do that, and I said, okay, I trust you. He goes, you do? I go, yeah, but let me tell you, I'm putting you on that trust circle. Like, I've only got a few people. And Simbodi's the only other one I let do something that I don't like. Because Simbodi came to me. I don't know, you know Simbodi, Kizani? Yes. Simbodi wanted to put, he said, hey, you mind if I light some firecrackers off on your chest? And I am terrified of fireworks and firecrackers. It's funny that I explained the wrestling show to fireworks, but that's from a distance. I'm not trying to light them. I'm not trying to lose any digits or fingers or anything like that. I never liked them. I don't like poppy, loud sounds. A lot of it it's gotten worse when I got caught under the percussion side, where my elevator entrance was. That's where the percussions were for the pyros at the opening of the shows and Kane's pyros and stuff. One time I went under there early stretching. I didn't really pay attention to the lineup. And I got caught with the pyros for Kane. It's like, boo, So I've been shell-shocked ever since. So even a firecracker, I jump out of my skin. So Sin put his necktie. You know what a necktie? You know a necktie?
Yeah.
Like you go to church?
Yeah.
But it strips of firecrackers on it. So he tied my arms up in ropes. You can picture this. I know you can see me on YouTube, but if you're at home, picture of it. He ties my arms in ropes. So I'm stuck there like kind of crucifix-like. And there's a necktie on my neck all the way up to my big old chin. And it's a big chin, so it's touching. And it's like double-sided firecrackers. And he lights it, and it's just like, somebody, he said, man, if I knew you were terrified, I would never ask you to do that. I go, no, I trust you, and you're my friend. And it's where it was for that show, that moment. It wasn't like I do that every night. It's not like I'm promoting death matches or crazy stuff. But it made sense in that moment, in that time, a lot like the Needles did for him. And in that time, I said, but I'm going to put you in that trust level. But if you isn't like what it says, I'm gonna be like, no, sir.
What is it like? Acupuncture? It feels like acupuncture in your forehead. Like what does needles in the forehead feel like? Ooh.
Well, going in is not bad because they're grouped and it's steady, right? You're still boom, boom, so it taps it in, right? So it's in. I love the tattoos. I just don't like needles going in the veins, but it goes in, so that's fine. Where you do feel it. Even you feel a little bit of it going in. It's, of course, it's needles to the head. Like, don't let me undersell needles to the head. But it's when you pull it out. So me, if you watch the video, I'm like, and I'm getting up like I'm mad. I'm like kind of doing that Gangrel, that swag kind of. So I reach up and I pull them sideways like that to pull them out. So they're like, so if you could picture, I don't know how many it was, 20 needles or 10 needles, whatever it was, 20. So they're in my head. So what I did was grab them and pull them to the side instead of straight out. So when I pull them to the side, it's like, popping out of the skin. That's what caused the bleeding. It probably wouldn't have bled as much if that. But you know what? To be honest, if you want me to tell you the truth, I'd rather take them, as long as they were clean and hygienic, than a chair shot to the head. Because I don't put my hands up on chair shots and stuff. So the amount of concussions I had, needles were like,
I'll take the needles.
Yeah. Concussion. That hot spot I had on my brain for so many years. The risk with all that coming back and being mush. Or just a few needles. They're clean. Blah, blah, blah. But then, like I said, I've seen a few people. Oh, is that what it's come to? Is this? Quick to judge off that video clip. But if they would have seen the whole match. And I'm not trying to defend myself because I don't have to defend myself. Because I'm going on 34 years. And I've owned up to anything I've done. I may have done things people talk to me into, but I'll still own up to it because I chose to do it at the end. No matter what. If I chose to do that line of cocaine when I was running and doing bad stuff, that was my choice. If I, whatever, nobody's got a gun to your head telling you to do anything. Everybody has free will. That's one of the best things we were given when we're born in this world, and especially in America. You have your free will to make your own choice. Right? You can make your own choice, so you can't blame. You go, no, I was under pressure. No, you could walk away and leave. You just didn't want to walk away and leave because you didn't think you would like the outcome of that situation. But you could walk away and leave, no matter what, you know. So I popped them out, boom, whatever. And so they whatever, but they didn't see it. But it was cool. But at the same time, it keeps me on page. Like, so I'm not watching all the current products as quick as I can. But I'm wrestling these guys that are popping up in these places. So I'm experiencing it. So I'm living the current product on a different level with the guys that are actually going there and popping up there. So, like, in a way, that helps me keep current. And then when I'm working with the young trainees coming in, I kind of know where their heads are. And then if they talk about somebody a lot, or if I see them coming in wearing a Kenny Omega shirt, like, I'll be like, okay, because, you know, like, these were Redcon, and they all got that. He's got the energy drink now, so a lot of them are wearing that really cool. It's a comic thing. You might know what it is.
Maybe
they based it off of something in the world that I don't know, but it's super cool. I see him and I go, okay, Kenny. So I go buy their shirts when they first come in, when they're interviewed to join the school, especially when I was at GWA, and right out and I look at the clothing or the wrestler they wear on the shirt, and then I go, okay, let me go look at this so I can see where this guy's head's at. Or I already know what that guy does, so I know what I'm dealing with, so it helps me understand him a little bit.
So if Simbodi wanted another firecracker explosion, would you do it again?
I prefer to tag with somebody now. We tag a lot. We've held some championships. Kind of a lot like I tag with Kevin Thorne now. Kevin Thorne, I'll take a club in. Simbodi, he'll never club you with anything, but he tends to want to light you on fire. But Simbodi, everything he does is safe. It's very. If you have to check him out, you can go look him up. If you're a current wrestler, wrestling now, if you're the dude. He studied under everybody, but he mentored under Jake the Snake a lot. He's got some of the greatest psychology, this and this and that. So they have this thing called the Snake Pit. It's a thing that you can go on. You just fill a little questionnaire out, him or I or somebody. I haven't been on as much as I used to, but they're on their guests. They're coaching on it. They're giving you tips and this and that. And the knowledge he has. I know. I don't want to jinx him or anything, but I know at some point he'll be, even as bizarre as he looks at all the tattoos and the beards and the craziness on him, he'll end up being a coach at like the PC or something somewhere because it's passion. He has passion. He has knowledge. And he's willing to commit and do things, and he wants to give back. So, like, I see that. We're all on journeys, and we're going to end up places and whatnot, but I think he'll end up there. If he doesn't, then it's a shame. If he does, it's definitely what he has a passion for, and I think he'll be amazing at it.
Well, they shouldn't base talent on.
So you just can't look at this guy in his matches and go, he doesn't know how to do anything. He's lighting firecrackers on people and rolling bowling balls into their crotch and hitting them with a sledgehammer. No, he understands psychology and he's really good. Like, I excel at basics. Like I'm a footwork foundation guy. I like getting you day one, grass in your hair. You walk in, you don't know nothing, right? And then I like to groom and get those basics because all that other stuff comes. That's going to be who you are, essentially your personality. Those basics, though, you need that foundation to survive. And that rest will come. Sin excels is when you're in purgatory. Oh, I've hit a wall and I don't know what I'm going to do character-wise or what I'm going to do here. His mind just never stops. He's so dialed in for that, and that's where he excels. So, like, I could see him at the PC Center, like, as he's dialed in on that. So they'll get guys that have wrestled here and here and here, and now WWE's like, we want this from him, you know, or you're gonna do this, you know. That's my Vince McMahon voice.
I assumed.
Even though he probably doesn't come down and say that, he probably says it to Hunter, that says it to Prince Albert, Matt Bloom, or whatever, and he relays it on down to the other coaches. But yeah, he is good with lost souls, like, and helping them find their way and giving them a light to get to their tunnel, or showing them, hey, you gotta turn left here, kid. You'll be all right. If you take a left, make a right, and do a little woogie boogie woogie boogie, and you add this in there, you're gonna be okay.
And lots of fireworks.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Yay.
Do we want to do Pandora's Box?
I'm thinking. I think he's over there because we ramble on. Like, he wants to talk a lot of wrestling, but at least we didn't go off on a serial rampage today. We kept it short with Frosted Flakes. So, everybody, with the help of lovely Kid Cadet, Casey, or just Kid. Oh! All right, if you can't see what happened in the studio here, tragedy. This is travesty. Slam Buddy Gangrel. I didn't name him yet, but Gangrel, I guess, is, I don't know what he is. My Slam Buddy, he just hit the ground. He did Dynamite Kid headbutt, like, boo.
He slammed.
But the opponent moved. And it's a tile floor in here. Did he get colored? Did he bleed? Is he juiced?
Okay?
Is he all right? You sure? All right. Oh, is it heavy today?
We got
Usually I want to try to sneak in there and look, but because you leave it to this guy, he'll put a bunch of Undertaker questions in there.
Do we want Undertaker questions?
He says he picks them randomly, but I don't believe him.
All right, well, let's
I don't
see.
believe him.
Oh, it's orange pen today. Oh, my goodness.
Orange
okay.
is the new black?
Ugh, okay.
You'd be good on that show. Orange is the new
I
black.
love that
could
show
see you.
so much.
I could see you on that.
I would love to do any show.
I was a big was a Lori Petty fan, so like
I got to interview her, so I was.
Oh, did you
I sure did.
When I seen her, I'm not gonna say she was kind of wilding out when so I got too scared to go up there. It was after a con or something, and
Tank Girl,
she
man.
was like, yeah, Tank Girl, but like always Point Break's gonna come back.
Oh, Point
or
Break,
League
yeah.
of Our Own, those two,
Mhm.
Point Break or League of Our Own, but Tank Girl rocked.
Yeah, she's. We'll have to talk about convention stuff next week or next
yeah.
episode. Okay, so this is from Alex Jackson.
Alex Jackson. Hello, Alex.
You spoke about being let down by Ric Flair when you met him. So why?
Can you show everybody your Ric Flair tattoo that's watching?
I think
you did it last time for my humor.
It's there.
Is it there?
Yeah,
Woo!
he's there. It says woo. I'm not going to be offended. Whatever you have to say about Ric Flair.
Let down. Well, my Ric Flair story, it's kind of a continuing on thing. I couldn't understand, like, I've worked for, like, Georgia Championship Wrestling, NWA, 87, 88, 89, and he would come through, and I've seen him, always seen him around. I mean, maybe he didn't know who I was or whatever, but then there was all the years through in and out of WCW and WWF when I was married to Luna, this and that. And I think the key word, married to Luna, might have been the key word. Like, literally, I'd be in, like, an airport in North Carolina, and I'd see him, and I'd go to walk by in Charlotte, because he would turn his shoulder, turn his back to me. I go, well, maybe he didn't see me, but he saw me. He saw me. And then I couldn't figure out why he would do stuff. And then they did stuff like the round table. And a lot of people call me back, wow, what'd you do to Ric Flair? I go, what do you mean? He goes, he would talk about Edge and Christian and say, my feelings don't get hurt. I didn't understand. Well, a little bit, they get hurt. But he'd be like, Edge and Christian are tremendous talents. I don't know who this Gangrel is or where they found him. And,
He said that?
But yeah, he would do stuff of that nature. I don't know the exact wording, but because people would call me, and I didn't see it myself because I didn't watch it, but people would tell me that. And I believed it. So I don't think they were lying. They might maybe exaggerate the words to try to get a little something out of me or something. But with all that being said, it's just, like, it was always just weird. He just, like, would never shake my hand or make eye contact. And, like I loved Ric Flair. Like, my favorite things about Eastbound and Down, if you ever seen that, is how they mock Ric Flair, Will Ferrell. Yeah. Like, but I go, he deserves it. Woo, 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 woo. Whatever. Like, I'm sorry. But so, here we go. Fast forward. Bing, 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 bing. Many, many, lots of years. Australia. I worked with the Samoans, Rikishi, and Reno and Hawaii, and a production company, and they ran the Australian tour. And this is one of the tours I tell you, like, I was part of load-in. I booked all the underneath matches. I didn't handle the Flair Hogan stuff because that was the Flair Hogan Australia tour. Okay. I didn't handle that, but I booked all the other matches underneath that because they did their own thing. Hogan wouldn't do the tour without Flair. He had that Flair on it. So it's like the first night in, and I had the girl I was married to at the time. She was on it. She did some stuff. She wrestled, we just. It's been a long day. Like, I'm telling you, I'm handling, like, load-in and booking the matches. Like, it's a lot of load on me for a guy that's just a wrestler, and go from being this guy that loves to wrestle show up to, like, this responsibility of all this on this major tour and these big stadiums, which was great. It was cool, and it was a learning experience of a lifetime. And I thank Reno and Rikishi all for the experiences, and all the Samoan family. Really, they really helped me on the business end of everything. Understand stuff like branding and marketing and all that stuff. So tremendous. Can never give them enough props for all that. But as we move on, she wanted to go eat. We were eating, and we had one glass of wine, and I was tired. I really wanted to go to bed. And she's like, "Oh, can we go?" Because it was like a vacation to her. It was work for me. It was like vacation, and we're going to the bar. I could hear him in there. He's drinking and raising hell. He's in there sitting with a group of girls, and he's like, whoo, and I can hear his typical stuff. You've heard all the stories.
He's wooing at the bar?
He's wooing at the bar.
Okay.
He's wooing at the bar, so I don't even want to go in there. And I go, she goes, just one glass of wine. All right, so I go in there, and Brian Christopher was a friend of mine. And I was worried about it. I hadn't seen him all day. So we get in the bar. Flair's back in the back corner. I'm sitting up in the front bar, and then there's the back corner, like, I want to say like a VIP, but it's a little dark section back there. It's him and like 5-6 girls that were like, I don't want to say divas, but they were like on the tour for something to bring cars out. They're part of promotions and stuff. And but he's back there and doing his thing and talking loud. And Brian comes up to me. And I go, Brian Christopher, he's no, like, I hope he's in peace. I miss that guy. He's a little wild and crazy, but I miss the heck out of him. And he comes up, and I go, Brian, where you been this whole time? He pukes all over my shoes. Now, I was mad that Brian puked on my shoes because they're brand new Nikes. It's like, man, I just got these for this trip. You know, like it's like day 1 or 2 into the trip, I got puke on my brand new Nikes. So whatever, but my girl was there, and I said, hey, because she's friends with Brian. She loved Brian. I said, can you get Brian upstairs and let Reno know? Like, I'm going to do some damage control. Let me clean this up real quick because it's our tour. Like, we don't need to start it out with, like, one of our wrestlers for whatever reason. He said he was sick, but I don't know what caused it. But he was missing all day, and he puked. And then Ric Flair comes out of nowhere, and he's like, grabs her. Woo, little lady, you need to sit down there. Nobody tells you what to do on my watch, or something ridiculous to that nature. Like, I can't get the exact words, but he touched her and sat her down. I was like, all right, dude. Like, and she's like giving me the look, like, it's okay. Because I'm like, I got puke on my shoes. I'm already hot about the puke on my Nike. So, like, and I'm like, and he's always like ignored me and did stuff. So that kind of sits there like a little chip. And he's back. So I'm like, so I ignored it, and I'm cleaning up puke, not my puke. I'm cleaning up somebody else's puke. It was puke on my new Nikes, and I'm hot. And next thing you know, like Reno came down, and it's Rikishi's cousin, Reno Anawai. He was running the tour. He takes Brian upstairs, and she's just sitting there like whatever. Like, I think she was praying that I wasn't going to get upset, you know. And then, so I'm mopping up puke. I'm cleaning up puke. I'm just sitting there. You guys, I know you can't see me, but I'm acting like I'm using a mop here. Yeah, I'm using a mop. So, and next thing you know, I look over, he's got like Shannon Moore and some of the younger guys that they used out of Cali, some of the local guys, and they're all lined up on the bar, and he's cutting promo. You're lucky to be on this tour, blah, blah, blah. It's my tour. Well, he doesn't know that Hogan begged for him to be on the tour. Anyway, we didn't want him on the tour. But he's like, this is, you know, blah, blah, blah. You should be grateful. And then he turns me around and pokes me in the chest. And you never was, or something. I'm like, I'm looking. And I looked over at her, and I know she's like, no. And I go, no, you old mother. And she laughs, and everybody laughs because they never see me so mad, but say sir after everything, because I respected his work so much and what he's done in wrestling. Like that's why I said never meet your idols. I've crushed you sometimes. So I was like, F you, sir. I was paid 3 months ago for this. I don't even got to be here. I could walk out now. You need to pay your taxes. And I started shoving him across the room. And Eric Bischoff and the Nasty Boys are there. And Brian Knobs knows me, and he's calling Bischoff easy. He goes, easy. Hey, Dave's gonna hit him. Dave ain't bluffing. I've seen Dave go. Dave's crazy. And then I back him all the way back up to that private little area it was from the bar, which is a good 30. It's back at the bar. And I'm just driving him back. I will whip your, blah, blah, blah. And he's sitting down on the thing. And I feel bad because I got him sitting in a chair, and I'm just poking him in the face going, I'll kick your ass. Come on, get up. And he's like, I ain't getting up or something. And the same thing like Mark Merrill said to me when I was going to go off on him. But that's another long story. But there, then Eric Bischoff's going, Dave, come on, man. And it'll ruin the tour, you know that. And I'm thinking in my head, I haven't blacked out yet. I was just like pissed. And I wasn't like blacked out fighting mad, or I would already swung, And then and Knobs is like, come on, Davey, come on, Davey, please. I'm like, F this guy, man. But I called him sir in between every cuss word. I said sir. So you hear such a vulgar language, and I said sir, and I told this story on Roddy Piper's podcast, and if you ever listen to it, and Roddy Piper go, he's an asshole, but he's my asshole. You can't just be picking him out no, he's an asshole. Whatever, and then I go yeah, you know what, it will ruin the tour, and I just thought it's not worth it, and then I kind of just pie-faced him a little bit and walked off, and then I went out. Needless to say, I was in a drinking mood, and then I went out, and Australia never sleeps. You can drink all day long, all night long, and into the next night. So I went out, and I came back in at 7, and I had a meeting at 11. So I laid down, and I made breakfast. I got back up 9:30 to make breakfast because I had to go do a meeting, and I remember Hogan was there, and he's like, hey, buddy, you all right? And he had Ric Flair come in and give the weakest apology there was. But I accepted. But he was mad the whole time. He didn't want to do it, but the whole thing. So I learned then that you know, for one, you should never put anybody on such a pedestal because I don't know. You should value yourself, and when you look in the mirror, you know, not even judge yourself, really. I mean, if you're religious and stuff, they'll say only God can judge you. You're just human, right? You make your mistakes and you move forward and you learn from them. So I learned, you know, don't put other people up there. That's like a false, like, you don't put them up there worse so much because you're going to get let down. They can never live up to what you build people up to in your mind, you know, the greatness, you know. Granted, not if you know wrestling, he runs the same exact match every time, but it's not a bad match. He's never, you know, he doesn't have a bad match. He cuts a hell of a promo, and I'll still watch old Ric Flair stop and be like, wow, you know, I get that look. And even though it's the same match, but I learn from it each time something because it's a different person he's wrestling in that same match. So how did he get that same match but with a different person and get the best out of that person? There's so much to learn. So much to learn. So he's not off my watch list. He's not off my watch list, but he's not, like, I don't think, yeah. So, so it was a long tour because that was the very beginning, and then I had some other stuff go down. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of that in a very short version. But don't get me wrong, I'm wrestling wise, I'll still watch Ric Flair stuff. I think I've already said that clearly. But as a person wise, I was super let down. But I've heard I'm not the only person who's done stuff like that too, or this or that. But you know what? That 2 hours I slept, and the next night after that, I slept like a champ. I slept so good because it was years ahead. There's like weird stuff going on that I didn't understand, and it's like it's off my chest. Mm-hmm. I go, you know what? I'm glad I didn't waste any money on counseling. I just needed a few finger shoves and a few sirs with the FUs in between across the room. And I didn't know I'd feel so much better. But other than that, I've seen them after that here and there. No handshakes, no hugs, but mutually stay across each other from the room. But yeah, I was bummed. I mean, I know you had Ric Flair. I was bummed because I was like Ric Flair, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, you know, all that. Mm-hmm. Wheeling, dealing, kiss, you know. I was a big fan. And then unfortunately, you know, my fanboy in me got crushed a little bit, and it's probably why I don't openly mark out is a word, I guess, or openly fanboy out for people because I'm scared of getting crushed. So I rather, you know what, I just want to know you what I want to picture you as over there. Let me keep it in my fantasy league in my head, my fantasy world.
No, I think that's fair, especially, you know, like being in the convention world. Sometimes not everyone is what you expect them to be, and sometimes people surpass your expectations, but not everybody is who you picture in your own head. Yeah, look at the amazing relationship you got now with Mick or Cactus or whatever you call him, Mick, right? Yeah. So Mick Foley, so you know, he turned out he's this amazing human being. He's just a kind teddy bear with missing teeth. Whatever. He's not Ted. Missing an ear, missing teeth, you know. Yeah. He's like a less vulgar Ted. Okay. Like he's okay. Yeah, he's one of the best. We should pitch that. We should do a Cactus Jack teddy bear thing where he's a bear. Okay. And he thinks, but he goes through all these multiple personalities, like Dude Love and all this thing in his journey. I think that'd be so cool. Mick Foley as a teddy bear? Yeah. And if somebody gets him, some little kid or some guy gets him, a teenager, and he grows up with Mick Foley through his life and Foleyisms and stuff. Plot. Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. I'm into it. Yeah, we'll have to, you have to age your dad. And Christmas has to be involved somehow too. That's very important. But are we ready for another question? Do we need a minute? I think so. I'm good. I'm not upset. I just don't like saying negative. I don't want to put so much negative out there in the world. But it's your experience. It was my experience, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it too much, but I did a little bit. Okay. This one's from, I think it's pronounced Curb Solo. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Okay, Curb Solo. Such a great show. I love Curb Solo. Is that like Han Solo's cousin? Yeah, that's what it's looking like. See, I know some stuff. Some. Are you a Star Wars fan? Not really. Okay. But I know Han Solo and Princess Leia and Chewbacca. I love Chewbacca. Okay. Oh, can you do that again? That was good. I could do it better. Hold on. There we go. That was kick it. That's Chewbacca. Thanks. Tremendous. What do you think were the pros and cons of the Attitude Era? I mean, that's a lot. Pros and cons. The pros is if you could wrestle, you were golden because the agents would come up to you. For now, if you watch current wrestling, it's very dialed in, very scripted, very controlled. Attitude Era, the agent would come up to you. They were called agents then. Now they're producers, but they're agents back then. They would come up and be like, hey, they want this at the end.
If it looks great, we're taking the credit. If it's bad, you're getting the heat. And they would walk off. Don't make us look bad. Okay, so the pro was they left it up in our hands. Now the negative of leaving it up to our hands is we tried to out one another with the chair shots and the intensity and stuff. Pro, you could push the limits with, I don't want to say vulgarity, but sexuality and cursings and the suckets and this and that. And negatives, very good role model for kids going around in school going, suck it. You know,
I'm sure a lot of kids got detention from that.
Pros, everything had a storyline all the way down to Shotgun Saturday Night. Everybody had a storyline. So every win and loss meant something to elevate you here or elevate somebody. You always had a piece of that puzzle. You were always in the puzzle. Your piece was crucial to finish the puzzle somewhere, somehow. So you always had a storyline. Another pro was competition with WCW in the Monday Night Wars. So everybody also, not only because they had the talent and they had the open range like the Wild Wild West to outdo each other, outwork each other, you competed against the whole other brand and a company. So that elevated that. So which in turn, pro elevated money and contracts when things came up and gave you negotiating things. So the biggest negatives come from with everybody thriving and pushing each other so hard to push their limits to the best thing or to the edge of insanity came injuries. And with those injuries came either career-ending or lifelong problems, but also not created, it had always been there, but drug addiction for the injuries. When the injuries getting treated and the show must go on, you know. Oh, I got food poisoning. Well, okay. Well, yeah, you got 10 minutes tonight and you know, we're gonna do this and this and that. Like they never heard you say you got food poisoning. They're like, you know, but you didn't argue it either because you knew that there was like 15 other gunslingers waiting in the wings ready to take that spot. Like when I tore my pec in Ontario, I didn't tell them or anything because I just started like in an angle. Like it was so easy to like just swerve the angle another way. It wasn't, the teeth weren't sunk in yet until we were like the full on brood and it started gaining momentum. And then maybe you could have, but still, did Edge and Christian ever really need me at a certain point anyway? So if you were hurt and you spoke up and you're out, then it would have just been ENC even quicker, you know? So, but the biggest negative, I guess, became, I would say, was the prescription drugs because of everybody pushing themselves to the limit. That's the biggest negative. Everything else, I like a lot more pros, but on a bigger scale of life and liberty, whatever, that's a serious thing, you know. Which it sprung eventually. You know, I used to get the letters that they would openly like offer to pay for your recovery or go to rehab and stuff like that. So it opened that up, but then. So I guess the positive is like wrestling was probably always like that, but it was just on a big social media in the eye more now. So people seeing it, you didn't hear about all the suicides and deaths of the older guys coming up to that point. But so brung awareness, and now I think that's part of where professional wrestling is today with the different sizes and stuff. But then you got the Darby Allins that are like these edge cutting guys pushing things to the thing. So you know. It's all over the place, but I hope I covered that question. I was all over the place.
But you covered multiple things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love being part of the Attitude Era, and I think that's why I'm still wrestling every weekend this day. Like, I mean, if you think about it, the last time I was on TV might have been 2004 or 2006 with the Undertaker Viscera match. Like, but prior to that, I was under a contract not used. So then really like 2000s when I dropped off, and I was just constantly going to England for 20 years. So nobody's seen me. When I was in England, they didn't know I was still wrestling. Heck, when I popped up, they would, in the States, they would think, oh, we thought you were dead. And I still see some of your damn YouTube comments that think I'm dead and stuff. And I guess, Gangrel's alive. We're so glad he has a show. Thank you for being glad to have a show. And thank you for being glad I'm happy. But no, damn it, I'm not dead.
He's a vampire. He's going to live forever.
Yeah. I thought it was on social media. Obviously, I haven't been on it enough in wrestling. I wrestle every weekend. I'm super blessed. And that was because how powerful that Attitude Era is. It made star power. If you were in that era, no matter Shotgun to Raw, to the WrestleMania, anywhere, even Shotgun Saturday Night, equaled star power because it was so strong and it's just so at the time. Yeah.
This is something next episode I want to delve deeper into. I have so many questions.
Okay.
But we're going to get to more questions from Pandora's box. Okay. We got time, right? Just to make sure. Okay. This is from, oh my gosh, how do I pronounce this? Okay. Jesse W. Did I say that right?
Jesse Dub.
Okay.
Jesse Dub. Jesse Dub. Jesse Dub. That's my baby. I don't know. I never understood why I couldn't just say Debbie, but
Well,
I just did it now. I'm guilty. That's the first time I ever done that, but I was just trying to be cool.
Guilty.
Sorry, guys.
Well, they want to know if you're going to be part of Luna's episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
How do you know there's an episode? They did announce there's an episode, right? Yeah.
I guess that's. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the first time I heard of it.
Am I part of it? Yes. I don't think I can talk about it now. But then again, I don't know how much it's going to end up. If you know anything about editing, we could do. This show is pretty much an hour to hour and a half we do, but there's no real editing on our show. It's just is what it is. But they film when they interview you. They said it was going to be 2 hours. They interviewed me for 4 hours, and there was no break or no. I think we stopped once because I was sweating from talking. So they filmed 4 hours. Now, a lot of things can be said in 4 hours. You know, you're what they choose to cut out, what they choose to air. It's a whole other mystery. So. They assured me that they were trying to shine things. Like I always, because I told them, why can't there be a sunny side of the ring? Why can't we show the great things, you know, like the people that are doing, like Mick Foley, some of the great stuff he's doing. He would be, yeah, sure, he's got the dark side with all the injuries, but all in all, he's more of a sunny side of wrestling. He comes out, good guy. I think you need more brighter and sunny sides of stuff. But yes, unless I hit the cutting room floor totally hard, yeah, I'm a part of it. Yeah.
Do we know when it's airing, or we don't have that information?
I don't know. I was under the impression it might be the last episode of season 3.
Oh wow! Okay.
This season. So.
Okay.
But I things change. Who knows? I don't know. Like before they were gonna have China, right? You heard all those rumors, and then that was scratched for whatever reason. So yeah, that was my dark side of the ring. So I don't know if I was supposed to talk about that or not, but it is what it is. There it is. So and I was very vague, so you don't really know. So what's next?
Okay. So we have some more questions, but I'm gonna be a little selfish. And
Selfish.
My mom.
I've never known you to be selfish.
Well, it's a question from my mom. So
Your mom. I love your mom. You know that, right?
Yes.
She's one of the sweetest ladies ever.
She's amazing. So can we save the rest of these for next time, and then?
I'm sure we're running close on time as it is. So
okay. So my mom's question for you is: she wanted
Hi, Mom.
Yoga mom, namaste.
Yoga mom. Oh, I know. I need some yoga. Right now. My bad.
It helps.
Yeah.
She wants to know how you came up with your finishing move.
My finishing move. Okay. The Impaler DDT. Much like the DDT Jake the Snake uses, is by accident. Now, if I get the story right on Jake the Snake, it was him and Lynn Denton, the grappler, and he had him in a front face lock, and he tripped and fell backwards. Hence the DDT. So good. So, you know, I could have my stories wrong, but they both have told me the story, and they both claim they created it. So one took it, one gave it. But Jake, who made this move, that's it. It's Jake. You think DDTs, you think Jake the Snake. So, and I used to use the DDT a lot. I was a big Jake the Snake fan. And I was just in training school. I was running Dean Malenko school, and there was a fellow called CG Offie, Tony Mamaluke Jr., the little guy. Okay. I called him CG Offie. His name was CJ. He trained for Dean Malenko. Then he went on to be part of the I don't want to say the Bambinos or whatever, but he was called Tony Mamaluke. He was in WCW for a while, and all that. Him, and maybe it was Tracy Smothers. All these guys. Him and Little Guido, whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, come on, guys. All right, they were like the FBI's later and all that. But okay, but he's Tony Mamaluke. And so we were training. This is when he was training. And I was just working like, what would you call like a bull in a ring? Where you tag in and out and you work with each other. So I was getting in there and I grabbed him and I went to go for a suplex. And I went up and I went, oh, crap, I didn't hook his arm. You know, like I just picked him up because he was so light. You know, I just picked him up here. And when I sat him down, I went, oh, pick you up again? Oh, and then I go to him, hey man, do you trust me? He goes, of course. I was training him, so he's like, of course. And he's a great kid, Tony. He's a super, super great guy. And I said, all I'm gonna do is we're gonna go up for the suplex, but I want you to come back down and take a front bump. You know, turn the head, take a front bump. I'm not gonna hook your arm. And he goes, like a DDT. I go, exactly like a DDT. Yeah, but a flat face one. I don't want you spiking yourself or nothing. He goes, okay. So I didn't hook the arm. I went up. I lifted him up here, and then I just kicked out and bumped beside him, and then that became the Impaler DDT.
So like kind of was an accident? Like
it
was a happy accident?
I forgot to hook an arm, but I didn't follow through to do it, which I could have because he was so light. I could have done it and protectively saved it, you know, and took care of him, you know. But when I sat him back down, it just flashed on me. Oh, I could just take a bump too, make this a like wicked, like super inverted DDT or something, whatever they called it through the many years. But then it became the Impaler, which, what is Christian's finish called? When he hooks the arms, the uglier, the unprettier?
Yeah, the unprettier, yeah,
right?
unprettier.
So the unprettier, I heard Christian say, I was thinking about calling the Impaler. I go, no, I already got the Impaler. So I like totally stole the Impaler name from Christian because he was going to call the unprettier the Impaler. But I think the unprettier suits better for him anyway.
Yeah.
So thank you, Christian, if you gave me anything. Stole the name the Impaler from me. So right? so that's where yeah, I know I love Christian, dude. But yeah, so that's where it came from. I was quick to say, no, I was calling mine the Impaler. Like, we're trying to figure out move names and coming up with move sets we were riding. I'm like, yeah, Impaler. I said, no, that's what I was going to call my DDT. And then I think Edge was like, yeah, it's more like the Impaler. Yeah. So I had him, Edge had my back. And Chris was like, whatever, man. I'll come up with a better name anyways. And he did. The Unprettier. So, yeah, because his face smashing it. Yeah, the Unprettier. So.
We also have to talk next week. I want to know your thoughts about Christian Cage and AEW, if you've gotten a chance to watch any of that.
Yeah, I did. I think covered a little bit of it, but yeah, I'll go back. I'll definitely want to talk about it. But I think that time has come. I don't know. You have a goodbye song or anything you want to say?
Oh, is there
it's time to come. Wait, how's it go? There's a
What
song there. There's a song there
song?
somewhere. Let's see. I'll have it next week.
Okay.
We'll have a song next week. We'll sing a song.
Okay.
Because you're a singer. Because
Yeah.
I heard you hit a note the other day, and I heard something. So.
I've sang the national anthem.
Give me some
that year.
go-go's. Goodbye to you.
Okay, how does that go? Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Something like that.
Tremendous.
That's all I got.
Got chops, ladies and gentlemen. That's Kid Cadet.
In the
And
building.
she's got chops. So I want to say thank you to everybody. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook.
TikTok.
Thank you. And, oh, yeah, I'm on TikTok a lot. I don't think we had the show on TikTok, but we're going to cover, I like to come back. I like to cover some ghost stories with you next week, too.
Yes.
Because I want to touch base because I got Gangrel's ghost stories. And I like, if once a month, I haven't talked to Raymond, so this is the first time he's heard this, so he might get hot. But
Okay.
like at least once a month, maybe we'll go over like some kind of cool ghost stories or ghost stories that we've had or something, talk that.
Absolutely.
And then, eventually we'll have a show, hopefully soon. It's being produced right now and everything. So it's in production. I guess the words they told me to use, it's in production. But Gangrel's Ghost Stories. So you can always check that out too. It's on, that's on TikTok. You can find some really cool TikToks on that. My TikToks are kind of boring. I'm trying to figure TikTok out as Gangrel.
We'll get you to do the dance.
But for Fangin N Bangin with Gangrel, Spotify and all those platforms, you can watch us physically, you can see us, or visually is the word, on YouTube, Facebook, so yeah, definitely. Thank you for tuning in. This is Gangrel, Kid Cadet, Fangin N Bangin with Gangrel. Peace out.
Bye, guys.